Hey guys, it's Jason here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. Today we are going to do something, guys, a little bit different. Usually we unbox new trucks and wheels and tires and ESC motors. We mod things, we change spurs, pinions, all that kind of fun stuff. But today we're doing things a little bit different. We're going to be talking about batteries and we're going to be checking out one, it's a pair of Gensace new Basher line Lipos. These are the 3S 8,000 milliamp 100C discharge rate batteries, and these things, guys, are a beast. They seem to be very targeted towards Arrma's lineup in general. These ones mainly, I would say, more for something like the Arrma, Felony, Infraction, Kraton, Notorious, all those type of vehicles. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a few things in this video. If you've always kind of wanted to understand batteries better and to know why you need to buy some batteries, why you need to buy a certain discharge rate over another brand's or over a lower discharge rate, we're going to kind of cover that today. We're going to do it in a fun way also. I am not going to sound like some electrical engineer and bore your pants off. I'm going to try to have some fun with it, but I promise you guys, if you've always kind of wondered about batteries and you want to know, like, why would I buy a more expensive battery over something cheaper, or why do I need that higher discharge rate, we're going to kind of cover that today. So anyways, guys, let's get to it. All right, guys, so I brought the Felony down because I feel like when Gensace was developing these batteries, when they were making these batteries, they had this and the Infraction in mind. One, because these are big batteries. Physically, guys, size, I mean, this is the 8,000. They also have a 15,000 milliamp 100C LiPo. I think it's 100C, which is just massive. And thanks to those huge trays in these trucks or in these cars, they fit. So you've got to think, if your average battery is a 5,000, let's say, to 6,000 milliamp battery, and you go out and you can run a car like this, let's say for 15 minutes, depending, again, guys, okay, I feel like I need to say this because some of you guys will probably jump down my throat. You take a car like this out, and yes, if you're running it super hard, if you're doing those full drag runs, yeah, your battery's going to deplete even faster. But if you're just out like I do, you go to a parking lot, you bash it around a little bit, you have some fun, you're probably going to get 10 to 15 minutes out of a 5,000 mAh. This is 8,000, so not quite double, but still you're going to get some wicked runtime, which is going to be really, really cool. But that 15,000, that is 3 times the size of a 5,000. And for me, guys, what I want you guys to understand when it comes to me is I'm a basher. I'm not looking to break any speed records. I'm not looking to have the fastest vehicle. I really don't care about any of that. You'll never see, I don't do videos where it's like, ooh, I hit this speed, I've got the fastest, whatever. I don't care. I want to go out and I want to enjoy my trucks and my cars. I just want to have fun. And runtime is a huge part of that. The last thing you want to do is get out and, you get your car ready to go, you start to enjoy it, and the battery dies. I went with the 8,000s for a couple of reasons. I wanted a higher milliamp, but more so, I wanted these to fit in a truck. And I'm going to show you guys that truck in a few minutes, and some of you guys know what it is, but I have one truck that's one of my favorite trucks, and it's got these side battery trays, and trying to find a really big 3S LiPo to fit in it has been fun. Sure enough, these do fit because I've already tried. So anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to slap these in the Felony. We're going to see how they fit. And then I'm going to give you guys my best explanation of understanding how batteries work, how the discharge rating count when you are putting batteries in a vehicle like this compared to something like, let's say, a slash 4x4 or a Rustler or something on the smaller scale. All right, guys, here we go. So as you can see, the batteries fit with ease. There is so much room here and here. I'd actually have to put blocks in it to keep these things a little bit more stable. So there's a ton of room in the Felony and the Infraction to fit these batteries. The 15,000 they have, it says right on their website that it works with, that truck, that car, however you want to put it, with no problem. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to give you my best explanation about why you want to buy a higher C rating battery. And well, some of you guys are going to find this kind of comical, but I'm trying to do this so that you guys just understand how it is. And again, I'm not an electrical engineer. I don't want to talk babble. I've watched videos and you can tell some guys really know what they're talking about. And some are just, you know, it's like verbatim. They're just rereading something. And I don't want to do that. So here we go. You got a car, you got a radio. You hammer your throttle on your radio, it comes down to your receiver. Your receiver tells your ESC, hey, this guy wants to go fast. So the ESC says, okay, I'm going to give that power to the motor so that motor spins. But before it does that, it comes to your batteries and it says, hey, we need all this. We need this much power. Give it to us. If you have smaller batteries, so let's say you have a 5025C or something like that, something that doesn't have a high discharge rate, the ESC goes, tries to take the power, and basically what the ESC does is it just keeps saying, give me more power. And these poor old batteries, not these ones, imagine something in here that's not these batteries, those batteries will try. They will try their hardest to say, here, take all the power you need here. This guy wants to go fast. But they can't do it. And in a sense, they just kind of bleh. You will notice kind of like a brownout. Your throttle won't be very good. And when you get your car back, you might notice it that right instantly, or you'll notice it later. Your batteries will start to swell. And that is because your batteries tried, but they couldn't do it. They could not supply what the ESC wanted to give to the motor. And this is where, depending on the vehicle you buy and the system, the motor, gearing, it's very, very important to get the right batteries. Cars like this, so the Felony and the Infraction, are pigs for power. Just think about it like this. Even though this is a stock system, people are going to upgrade it. They are going to put a bigger ESC. They're going to do a bigger motor, especially the guys that really, really want to go fast. And they really want to go fast in a straight line. If you've ever watched those videos, what do you see? You'll see a car pushed to its limits. You'll see a car geared, over-geared as high as it possibly can be. And not only that, you get this. Because they're trying to get every mile an hour out of their vehicle. So they're doing this. They're not blipping. They're not, feathering the throttle. They're not, doing, it's pinned the whole time. Which means this ESC is just saying, give me. And it's giving everything it can, give to that motor. And that's why if you watch some videos, you'll see people do these cars or a Limitless, for example, and they'll do everything right. They'll have a great ESC. They'll have a great motor. They'll be working on gearing, but then you'll watch their speed run and you'll see it kind of like, I don't want to use the word cog because that's not what it is, but you'll see kind of like a brownout. You'll actually see it like kind of almost stall for a second. And that's because the batteries themselves are not doing their part. So imagine you've gone out and you've bought yourself a set of 5025C 3S Lipos for your Slash or your Haas or your Rustler or your Granite. And they probably will work very well in those trucks. You will have no problem whatsoever. But then you decide to buy something like this and you stick those batteries in here and you go online and you see what people are doing for gearing and, I can go up 3, 4, 5 tooth on my pinion, all this kind of stuff. And you throw those, let's say if they're older 25C, 5000 mAh batteries in this thing, you're not going to have a good day. You're going to ruin your batteries. And I have seen where people will put down those batteries. They're not bad if they're in the right rig, but things like this, an X-maxx, Arrma Kraton 8S, when you're, heck, even a 6S, you start pushing those 8-scale trucks, you need a good discharge rate battery. I have been using, and I know, guys, I've mentioned this video is, in a sense, sponsored by Gensace. So I've got to talk good about them. But I'm going to say this, guys. I've been buying their batteries. Here. Right there. I've been buying their batteries for years. I've always enjoyed them. They've always been reliable. Yeah, I will store them in the winter. I'll even cycle them a bit. I do take care of them. But they've always been really, really good batteries. So I was super excited when they got in touch with me, because I was like, hey, you know what? I love your batteries. I buy your batteries. Of course, I'll work with you guys on this. So I know that some of this probably sounded kind of goofy, but what I'm trying to make you guys understand is, even if you're new to the hobby, even if you're just getting into it and you're trying to cut costs, you've just gone out and you've bought something that's expensive and now it's like, hey, I need a charger and batteries. Look into good batteries. Look into something with a decent C rating, because that's your discharge rate. That's basically how fast can this battery get out its power? How fast can it discharge it? These things, 8,000 milliamp 100C discharge rate batteries are going to be wicked for this thing. Now, hopefully you guys won't be disappointed. The goal was to run this car today with these batteries. However, I went around to a couple of the big parking lots that I go to, heck, even the one I have at work, which is huge, and they still have sand on them from the winter. So obviously here in Northern Ontario, we get a lot of snow, it gets plowed, they put down salt for traction, or sand for the traction, and the sand's still sitting there. So to take this thing out and to honestly try to rip it around a parking lot today would not be a lot of fun. But it's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon as they start getting the parking lots clean. And though there's a few that I've gotten mine that are flat and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm going to do, obviously, guys, you see they can fit in this car. I never had a doubt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you them in a couple of other vehicles. Unfortunately, and I've already tried this, these do fit in a lot of my trucks. The only problem is with the Traxxas, I need to upgrade the actual, the Traxxas has those clamps. They don't use Velcro. You know what? I'll just show you guys. All right, guys, so we've got the Haas on the counter now. And as you can see, it's basically the same issue in all the Traxxases, because Traxxas doesn't use Velcro and they use their little clampy kind of mechanism thing here. The battery itself fits in the tray, no problem. It's just the height. So Traxxas does offer their own battery kind of, if you want to put a larger battery in sort of option part that basically lifts up the clamp and lifts up this. I know they have that for the Slash 4x4. I know they have that for the Rustler 4x4 as well. I'm hoping they have it for the Haas. If not, I know Hot Racing or one of those companies will have something, because I really do want to use these batteries in these trucks. I'm not going to grab you the Slash and the Rustler because I've already tried it and it's the exact same issue in both of those vehicles. They fit, and they actually fit pretty good because you can still leave the little rubber booty in there. Can I show you guys that? The little foam block? It's still in there, so you have a great fit. It's just unfortunate that the Traxxas uses this, tinky tonker, and due to that, you actually just can't throw this battery right in there. You could obviously, guys, mod it yourself. You can do something with Velcro. I'll probably just either see what's out there from Hot Racing or from Traxxas and use something that will still keep the clean look and all that kind of fun stuff. But either way, this battery will fit. Just be aware that, yes, you'll have to do something with your battery clamp and all that kind of stuff. I feel like this is the one that a lot of you guys probably wanted to see. So this is a Kraton 6S. Obviously, this is a heavily modified Kraton 6S. I feel like most of you guys who have subscribed you subscribed because of this truck, because this truck has been a lot of fun. It's been a great build. And as you can see, these batteries fit, and they even fit under the stock, like how you have that little lift up piece right here. This is just sitting exactly where it's supposed to be. These batteries, guys, fit in here perfect. And I even feel like, and I've mentioned this before, I feel like the Basher line in general is kind of built around Arrma. One, it's got the EC5s on it and stuff, but even just where they have their wires come out completely clears the Velcro. So you don't get any, binding on it or something like that. It's always unfortunate if they put, let's say the wires out here or something like that. You end up having to kind of shimmy them off, or the Velcro strap kind of, sits off to the side. Where, as you can see, guys, these fit perfect. So Kraton 6S. Now this is a beast one. I'm running the Max 6 and the engine, I think it's 1250, 1275, 1250 kV out of my 8S Kraton in this truck. These batteries, tons of power, and it's going to give me some great runtime, especially since, again, I'm running that bigger motor and that bigger ESC. So for those that don't know, I'm running the Hobbywing Max 6 and the Spectrum 1250 kV motor. This motor is out of a Kraton 8S, and this is basically the same, somewhat of an ESC that is in the Kraton 8S. This is just the actual Max, the Hobbywing Max 6 versus the Spectrum Firma. So something that I see too a lot of times online is, this is a V4 Kraton, and it usually comes with, I think it's a 2050 kV motor and a Max 8 style ESC. You will get a good runtime out of that truck, you know, especially if you had something like an 8000 in there, you'd get tons of time. But let's say even if you had a 5000, you might get 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes of runtime. When I swapped this and this in here, my runtime went way down a lot. And like I've mentioned many times, I want the fun factor. I want to be able to take out my trucks and run them. And I want to be able to run them for more than 10 minutes at a time. So again, where something like these Gensace 8000 milliamp 3-cell 100C discharge Lipos are going to work really, really well is in a truck like this with modified electronics. Because even though you've lost runtime by going with a bigger system, having a big pack, something the size of an 8000, is going to bring your runtime probably back up to what it would have been if you were running the stock, 8-scale electronics in the truck. So again, big plus with running those higher milliamp Lipos. All right, second last truck we're going to do is the Traxxas Maxx. Now, I understand the Maxx is a 4S truck. And to be fair, guys, on my previous Maxx before this one, I only ever ran it on 4S. However, this truck will be driven by my son sometimes. So something like an 8000 mAh 3S, especially if I have to put this in the training mode or something like that, would be great. Now, unfortunately, the Maxx has that same Traxxas battery, tonky-ish, however you want to put it, battery tray. But we're going to see if it fits anyways, because I'd be kind of excited. I know the dimensions lengthwise work. I'm just worried again about this clamp. Aha. Check it out, guys. 8000 mAh and a Max. And you can actually see there, guys. You can see the light through. I would even need to put like a little teeny tiny kind of foam, something obviously very, very thin, like a little insert or something in there just to kind of keep this even a little bit more snug. But there you go. The 8000 mAh fits in here as well. So that's super cool. Obviously, you got kind of, a connector difference here. I usually just chop these off and immediately put on an IC5 or an EC5. But because I knew I was going to be running the stock Traxxas electronics, I chose to keep the TRX cable on. Now, I don't know where it is, but I did make myself somewhere an adapter that just basically goes from the plug to an EC5 so that way I can connect it. I don't really recommend having those type of adapters. But since I know my son's not going to be running this all that hard, I'm okay with it. And honestly, I think even at this point now, I'm probably out of warranty anyways. I can really get rid of this and just throw an IC5 or an IC5 on. But there you guys go. If you're wondering, Gensace 8000 mAh 3S Lipos do fit in the Maxx. Next, guys, we're putting up the truck that is the reason I got these batteries. All right, guys. So I'd already checked this out. I actually tried it last night to see, because again, these big 3Ss, as awesome as they're going to be in my Felony, I was really excited and I really wanted to get a battery that was going to fit in my Hobao Hyper MT Plus 2. And as you can see, guys, they fit. They're a little snug on the lengthwise, but they do fit. And they actually have, guys, room up and down. So I could, even if I wanted to put in a little bit of a foam block or something like that in there, I could. But either way, I am super pumped, guys, that these fit, because I have wanted a good set of 3S Lipos for this truck. Really, ever since I got it, I've been running the smaller 3S Lipos that I have, the 50Cs, and I've always just wanted to have something with a little bit more of a discharge rate. As you can see, I've got the ESC out of this truck right now. I am going to go to something a little bit bigger too, so again, I really did want to have a better battery in this truck, and now I do. All right, guys, there you have it. Thought I'd finish the video with the Felony in the background because my God, this thing just looks so great, and I'm so pumped to finally get to run it. I did buy this car, in the winter when, everything was covered in snow and stuff like that, and like I mentioned earlier, I'm still waiting on the parking lots to be cleaned up, but I'm definitely even more excited now to run this car, knowing I've got these two beasts to go in. Like I mentioned, these are the 8000s. Gensace also has a 15,000 milliamp lipo that fits into these cars. So that's just going to be crazy power. What I'm hoping, guys, you know, I'm hoping to work with Gensace now on a few more videos. I've got my ESC all ready to go for my X-maxx. Not sure if I've shown this in any other videos, but I've got it mounted up. So I've got the NTF fan all mounted up, and this is going into my X-maxx with the 1100 kV motor. So I'm pretty excited about that, as well as, you know, my Kraton with the Castle 800 kV system in it. All those cars, I would really like to see. They've got some, Gensace has some wicked battery specs for those type of vehicles, especially in the 4S lineup as well. They've got some great MAH, some huge packs that, again, guys, like I keep repeating over and over again, you know, I like to see as much performance out of a truck as I can, but the fun factor always comes first. So I want runtime. I want to be able to go out and enjoy my truck. I don't want to get out there and be like, wow, I've got this, you know, 65-mile-an-hour X-maxx and it runs for, you know, 4 minutes. That's not me. I don't ever want that. I want to have the fun. I want to be able to go out with my, you know, with my buds, run, have a good time, jump, do what we do. So anyways, guys, not going to make you sit through a slideshow of pictures of batteries because I don't really think that's all going to be that exciting. But here they are, the Gensace 8,000 milliamp 100C discharge rate Lipos. You're going to be seeing these hopefully soon, guys. As soon as I can get you know, into those parking lots with this thing, I'll be running them, as well as getting my Hobao, my Hyper MT Plus 2, getting that finished, and they'll be in the Kraton 6S, and they'll be in my Traxxas rigs as well. I've got to order a few parts to get those working. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and there's no pics.